things to say.
Maybe you ought to get a
Okay, folks. When we left last week, we all went home with the goal of acknowledging our children's feelings at least once.
I know. I got something to
Yes,
tell you.
Wait a minute. Before you tell us what happened, I want to know, how did you feel about it?
I felt awkward, almost phony at first. Not like myself, like I was playing a part.
Well, I was comfortable, but Julie, my 13-year-old, she looked at me suspiciously like, what's happening to Mother?
Listening is hard work. I was surprised.
Yeah, but you know what really surprised me was realizing that I had never really listened to my kids before. I mean, I heard their words, I guess, but not what they were really saying. But this week, I listened.
Charles, tell us what happened.
Well, David, he's 8. He came home from school complaining as usual. Evidently, one of the kids in his class called him a nerd. Oh. Well, I was tempted to tell him, you know what the problem with you is? You're too damn sensitive. You got to learn to roll with the punches. But instead, I said, that could really hurt your feelings being called a name. Oh. And he said, yeah. And then he said something that was really amazing for him. He said, if he calls me that again, I'm just not going to give him the homework assignment the next time he asks for it. How about that?
How about it? When you acknowledged his distress, he found the courage to deal with the problem himself.
Yes.
You know, it's almost like they can't start to think until you listen to their feelings. Like yesterday, I went to pick Erica up from Head Start, and she was making this big deal about wearing her seatbelt. Well, of course, I usually would have yelled at her, but I'm so into trying this new way that I said, Erica, honey, you seem upset. And she looked at me and she said, Pam pushed her lunchbox into mine and made me spill soup all over me. And then she put on her seatbelt without another word from me.
Oh, that is remarkable, isn't it? The moment her bad feelings were acknowledged, she behaved responsibly. Frank, you have something to tell us.
I mean, it shows.
Yes.
Come on, Frank.
Well, actually, something significant did happen this week. Remember, I told you that the boys and I, we don't talk to each other very much, especially the teenager. Well, yesterday he went to the barber to get his hair cut, and he came home, and he was ranting and raving, and he said, I told him not to cut it so short. And I said, you don't like it that short, do you, son? And he said, but I look like a geek. And I said, even though you know your hair grows fast, it still makes you angry, doesn't it? And you know, I think that helped him. And anyway, it's a big improvement of what I'm capable of saying. What's that? What are you complaining about? All he did was cut your hair, he didn't cut your head off.
You're right, that was an improvement.
Did anyone get a chance to use the idea of giving a child in fantasy what you can't give them in reality?
Was I glad to know that this week. It was so helpful with Melissa.
Would you be comfortable sharing it with us?
Well, I think I told you last week how hard my divorce has been on Melissa, my 10-year-old.
Yes.
Well, this week, when she started blaming me because her father didn't show up for his regular visit, I didn't try to defend myself, and I didn't try to explain things to her. I just said, Melissa, you're so angry with me and so angry with Daddy. And she burst into tears, and so I held her while she cried, and I just said, I know, sweetheart, I know. You wish we could go back to being a whole family again.
It doesn't take away the pain, does it? But somehow it makes it easier to bear if one person can understand how bad you feel.
It's beautiful, really beautiful. But there's still something bothering me. My mind is still back in that car with Esther's daughter. What if she hadn't fastened her seatbelt? I mean, isn't this whole approach just a little too permissive?
Well, it is permissive in the sense that we permit all feelings, but we don't permit unacceptable behavior. If Erica hadn't buckled up, Esther might have said, Erica, I can see how upset you are. The rule is seatbelts have to be buckled.
It's easier for children to accept limits when you accept their feelings. For instance, Johnny, I see you'd like to eat every cookie in the jar. They all look so good to you. What you may have is 1 or 2. You decide. In that way, we accept feelings but put firm limits on their action.